All right. I love this story, man. The hypocrisy is so overwhelming and immense, they need a new word for it. It's like Trumpocracy or something. That sounds more like a Trump-run country, Trumpocracy. But, like, this hypocrisy is absurd. So look at this. This isn't people. Trump threatens CNN with lawsuit for alleged defamation in reporting former president's 2020 election lies. Quote, I will never stop fighting for the truth and for the future of our country, Trump said in a statement after notifying the news network of plans to bring a defamation lawsuit. Former President Donald Trump is threatening legal action against CNN, accusing the network of defaming him by calling his assertions about a stolen 2020 presidential election false narratives, baseless theories, and part of a big lie. I have notified CNN of my intent to file a lawsuit over their repeated defamatory statements against me, Trump said in a statement Wednesday. I will also be commencing actions against other media outlets who have defamed me and defrauded the public regarding the overwhelming evidence of fraud throughout the 2020 election. I will never stop fighting for the truth and for the future of our country. The statement comes after Trump's lawyers wrote in a letter to CNN executives dated July 21st, calling for the network to publish a full and fair correction, apology, or retraction for numerous articles and televised transmissions. Televised transmissions? What a weird way to put it. The CNN content cited in the 282-page letter is primarily related to his claims about the 2020 presidential election, which Trump says was stolen, despite evidence to the contrary. For the months and years that have followed the 2020 election, CNN took it upon itself to engage in a campaign of dissuasion, branding President Trump a liar and one who subscribes to the notion of the big lie, the letter states. Reportedly, the term big lie has been uttered in the context of President Trump's beliefs more than 7,700 times on CNN since January 2021. The letter alleges CNN made false and defamatory statements in describing the terms as such. CNN declined to comment on Trump's threat to bring a lawsuit. According to the letter, Trump's comment about a stolen election are not lies because he subjectively believes that the results of the 2020 presidential election turned on fraudulent voting activity in several key states. But there are reported instances of Trump admitting he lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden. Former White House Director of Strategic Communications, Alyssa Farah Griffin, revealed during an interview on CNN in June that Trump privately confessed he lost. Quote, he admitted that he blurted out, watching Joe Biden on TV, can you believe I lost to this guy? Griffin said, and he actually admitted in a press conference when he was speaking about coronavirus in a press briefing room, he actually slipped and kind of admitted that Joe Biden won. All right, so this is great. It's hilarious that he's suing over, the CNN covering the big lie or election falsehoods, and he's saying this reaches the level of defamation. There's no planet in which this is defamation. It's just, it's not even close. You're having a disagreement over claims about the way the 2020 election unfolded. Now, look, you can believe the election was stolen. That's fine. I don't know if Trump actually believes that, but you can believe that and you can argue for that. You have the free speech rights to do that. You're wrong, but you can do that. By the same token, even if it was true that the election was stolen, which it's not, to be clear, you still wouldn't have a case. You still wouldn't have a case. This is like saying you can't discuss anything, because then anything and everything where there's a disagreement becomes defamation. It's like if you talk about the JFK assassination and one side says it's a conspiracy, the other one says it's not. It's like one person suing another person over that. You're just having a disagreement over a point of fact. And, the bottom line is, and you guys know this, we've talked about this all the time, there's been over 60 court cases and Trump lost virtually every single one of them. Even Republican judges said, you're wrong. Even Trump-appointed judges said, you're wrong. They had the Arizona audit where Biden won by more than we even thought he won by on election day. There's all these pieces of evidence that, the claim that it was a fraudulent election is nonsense. How does Trump respond to that? He just swats it aside and says, no, you're defaming me by disagreeing with me. So look, this reminds me, you cannot be I'm the free speech guy, and then also sue people for defamation over nothing, over the drop of a hat. And so that reminds me of this awesome video that I want to share with you guys.
Under the guise of speech codes and safe spaces and trigger warnings, these universities have tried to restrict free thought, impose total conformity, and shut down the voices of great young Americans like those here today.
Yeah, they want to restrict free thought. They want total conformity. They don't want any dissent. Almost like when you, Trump, threatened to sue Bill Maher because Bill Maher made a joke comparing you to an orangutan. Almost like when that happened, right?
It's great people. All of that change is starting right now. We're dealing with billions and billions and billions of dollars. Taxpayer dollars should not subsidize anti-First Amendment institutions, and that's exactly what they are, anti-First Amendment.
This is a guy who argued in a rally we should punish flag burning with a year in prison. Flag burning was a case decided by the Supreme Court years ago. Even ultra-conservative Justice Antonin Scalia said, look, I might not like it, but this is free speech 101. This is part and parcel of the First Amendment. You cannot crack down on flag burning without cracking down on the First Amendment. And Trump's up there saying, these guys are anti-First Amendment. You are anti-First Amendment.
Universities that want taxpayer dollars should promote free speech, not silence free speech.
Not silence free speech. You know, like if you sue a media organization because they disagree with you and they're right and you're wrong. Can't silence free speech unless it's me silencing free speech, in which case we love silencing free speech, don't we, folks? Don't we, folks? God, he's such a hack. Look, I almost hope that he sues CNN over this because he's going to lose so terribly, because I would hope he sues CNN and they countersue him, and if anything, they would have a better they would have a better case than he does. So he's just such a fucking fraud. There's nobody can say, I believe in free speech and then support somebody like Donald Trump. He's deeply against free speech. He's deeply against the First Amendment. By the way, same with Ron DeSantis. We've covered that in detail. His many anti-First Amendment, legislative moves. So just understand who and what he is. Understand how insane this is, what we're talking about now. Suing CNN, basically because CNN admits the election, Biden won the election. That's what it is. So we're off in Cuckooville here, guys. There's no doubt about it. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.